I'm John Stratton, Superintendent of Hernando County Schools, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Superintendent's Roundtable. Today, joining us is Brian Ragan, Director of Facilities, and we're going to discuss the half-cent sales tax that voters approved. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah, 4 years ago, voters approved a half-cent sales tax for what we call deferred maintenance. The word deferred comes up quite a bit. Can you explain that to us, what it means to be deferred maintenance?
Yes, deferred maintenance is basically that. It's maintenance that has been deferred or put off to the point that the equipment or the roof or whatever it is failing. And it is not just routine maintenance, it's maintenance that has caused it to fail. And it's put off beyond repair.
So we identified for the public millions and millions of dollars of deferred maintenance that happened during the recession. How were those items identified? Okay,
the district at the time, the employees made inspections and had lists of projects that needed to be done, and they had maintenance records of things that were deferred and that they could not get to, did not have the funds to do, and they put the list together and prioritized the list and basically identified the projects for the resolution.
So I know in addition to deferred maintenance, we also have maintenance in real time, things that come up. So how might projects get added to that deferred maintenance list that may not have been on the original referendum?
Okay, so we have people may call in with an issue, a principal or something, they've got a problem, and we'll go out and take a look at it, and if it's eligible for the half-cent stuff and the maintenance beyond the scope of our maintenance department, then we'll add it to the list and try to get it in the program.
So I think it's important for the community to know that we bring in about $10 million a year, thankfully, in that half-cent referendum. I know we utilize that for multi-year projects. Explain to the community why we do it that way. Okay,
so we get roughly $10 million a year, and I'll do an example is the Hernando High HVAC replacement. That was a $9 million, almost $10 million project, and had we funded that in 1 year, then that would have been the only project that got funded. And being that our fiscal year ends in June, we're able to do the work. Some of the projects take a year or whatever. We're able to fund a portion of the project in 1 year and roll the project will be continuing into the next fiscal year, so we'll be able to fund the remaining portion out of the next year. And that allows us to use the money to fund other projects that are needed that are just as urgent as the larger projects.
Which makes sense to me. Instead of spending all of the money on one project in a singular year, we spread it out. That way we can chunk away at that list on quite a few items there. How much of the original list have we completed? Okay,
this is the fourth year that we've been receiving the funds, and we have 40% of the projects done, and we've got another 20% of the projects that are in the planning, construction, or design process. So after probably the next fiscal year, the end of 21, we'll probably have 60% of the projects completed with another 40% remaining.
So just so we can put it into scale or perspective, when we say 40% of the projects, let's attach a number to that. How many?
Okay, that would be about 70 to 80 projects. I think 78, if I'm not mistaken.
And you have about 20% currently underway, and how many projects might that be?
That is about 31 projects that we have underway or in the planning or design phase, and that we have on the list, have the funds set aside for.
And that leaves us with about 110 projects left to do?
That is correct.
And there is an Oversight Committee that really checks and balances on everything we do, every penny we spend. Can you talk to me a little bit about that committee and how often they meet?
Sure. The committee's comprised of CPAs, community members. We have members on the committee that were against the tax. Mm-hmm. So it is a true checks and balances. We meet every quarter. We currently have 2 openings on the committee, so if anyone's interested, they can go to our website and click on the link, and there's an application there. But we go over all the projects on the list, and they make sure that they were on the referendum or in the scope of what the referendum was about. And every quarter that I've been involved, the money has balanced to the penny with what the auditors have. So we're very proud that we're able to spend the money the way it was intended with the taxpayers, and that there's no projects that are being just done that are outside of the scope. That this is truly what the voters voted for, that we're funding, and the committee attests to that.
Yes, the committee is made up of, as you said, community members who volunteer their time and talents, and we appreciate that for sure. They also report out quarterly at the board meetings, full transparency. Every penny, as you mentioned, that is spent is shown on there. Well, Brian, I wanted to thank you for coming today and just explaining the half cent to us a little bit and what deferred maintenance means. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
As you saw or you heard, that we have 2 more openings on that Oversight Committee. If you're interested, please contact my office here at 797-7000. And we'll send your information to the committee, and they'll vet you through that process. And we welcome you to come in and look at the transparency. Also, we can't thank the voters enough for passing that referendum 4 years ago. We're in year 4 out of 10. The half cent, $10 million a year, is being put to good use, and you should see evidence of it around the county as you drive around. And again, we just want to ask for your continued support of that as we move forward. And thank you for tuning in today.